Percy's Chocolate Crunch. Sir Topham Hatt had some bad news for the engines one day. Due to a water shortage, he announced, no engine should have more than one washdown a day. And you must understand that usefulness does come before cleanliness. As he left, Percy was upset. I'm always dirty, he said, and I never get a wash down. Gordon only does it to feel important. That's because I am important, said Gordon. I'm an express engine. You don't even understand. I have a position to keep up. Oh. You're nothing but such a pouty puffer, Percy, James added. Says the engine with his vain ways, and the engines went on strike after they didn't want to do any shunting as they were supposed to do, Duck defended. He's right. I am not a pouty puffer. You engines are always full of your ways. Now if you'll excuse me, I have some work to do. So long, and he steamed off. A little later, Percy had to take some cars of stone to the harbor, but the freight cars were playing their tricks. Unfortunately were playing their tricks. They let their brakes off on purpose, which made Percy get sent into the hopper, and stone flew all over his boiler. Oh no, coughed Percy. I'm filthy. But he knew that usefulness does come before cleanliness. Come on! But he knew that usefulness does come before cleanliness, so he steamed out of the quarry on his way to the harbor. As Percy made his way, the freight cars began to sing. Clickety-clack, don't look back. Dirty Percy's on our track. Be quiet, you all, Percy snapped. As Percy was about to approach the harbor, he waited at a signal. Harold was there. Hello, Percy, he said. And with that, Harold buzzed away. But unbeknownst to Percy, was that when Harold took off, his blades grew cinders and ashes everywhere. Not again, Percy huffed crossly. I've never been this dirty. And as the signal changed to green, Percy made his way to the harbor. As he brought the cars to the sidings, he wanted to find the way so that he won't get dirty again. I've had it with being filthy, Percy fumed. I want to find a job where I won't get dirty. We could take the sugar cars to Mr. Jelly's chocolate factory, his driver told him. Now that's nice and clean, Percy said happily. As he coupled up to the cars, he made his way to the factory. Percy was making good time as he made his way. But as he made it down the Peel Guide Trade branch, he didn't realize that a leaky tanker had spilled oil on the track, which made it slippery. Percy didn't even notice this until he felt his wheels begin to slip. But as he approached the chocolate factory, Percy and his driver tried to apply to the brakes. Ah, no, cried Percy as he crashed into the buffers. Percy's driver and fireman had jumped clear, just as before he went into the chocolate factory. But Percy was covered in chocolate. Yuck, he groaned. I've never been this dirty. The engines will start to laugh at me now, he thought to himself. When Duck brought Percy to the sheds, the engines saw Percy covered in chocolate, and they weren't even amused, and they started to laugh. Looks like someone's good enough to eat, Thomas laughed. Bon Percy, James added. Chalk ice on wheels, chipped in Henry. Disgraceful, Gordon huffed pompously. Percy was cross, but before he could say anything else, he heard a loud bellow. Silence, said Sir Topham Hatt. He then turned to Percy. Percy, you have had a trying day, but you have shown today that usefulness does come before cleanliness, and therefore you shall be having a wash down and a brand new coat of paint. Oh, sir, said Percy happily.